Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Hunters Hub, the video game podcast born of the Monster Hunter community. This is your host, Fortuan, joined tonight by Ace. How we doing, bud?
Doing good. Finished with work at 5. Went out with Alex on a father-son target run. Then picked up
Nice.
some Culvers and
The mystical store
woke
known as
Andrea up with
Target.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Also, unfortunately, experienced some dinguses racing around worse than I've ever seen them in town because they were literally like swerving
Oh.
back and forth in between lanes, and then like at stoplights they were like changing lanes from that, and then like gunning out on the red light just before it changed to green, and just like, yeah, just like the most shithead behavior that you can think of.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like,
I live
you're
near
gonna
one.
cause an accident sooner or later. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I stopped to pick up Andrea some Starbucks, and the guy said apparently they're like a local car club slash gang.
Hmm.
So apparently they race around the area, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving home with Alex, I'm like, huh, look at all this open highway that you could be driving on
Open
instead
highway
of,
that's
oh, I don't
actively
know,
patrolled, though.
crowded city streets. I mean, theoretically, so should the city streets be, but I guess not, because
Yeah.
I didn't see or hear any sirens.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so where I'm at here in Chillicothe, there's a guy who doesn't have a muffler. He has a muffler amplifier to make it louder on purpose. And he will peel out. I'm on the corner. He will peel out on the right side of the road here and go in front of the house. And it happens literally the last night. I was up playing Diablo 4 because, of course, I was. But 2 in the morning, this guy did this. So, like, I can't imagine the
Uh,
older residents who live nearby me that enjoy that.
right away, first thing this morning, because I work Saturday mornings,
Mm.
7 a.m., there were people across the street that were taking out their, I guess, road legal dirt bikes and were like revving and racing up and down the road. Um, but I was also going to say, across the street, there's a guy who has like, uh, think of it, they technically call it like a crackle muffler or like a
Mm-hmm.
popping muffler or something like that, because it'll just,
Yeah.
and I've taken to saying, it sounds like the adult version of one of those little kid push toys that have the little balls that pop,
Oh,
if you know what I'm talking about.
yes.
I'm just like,
The
you didn't
the
get enough
lawn.
attention as a kid, did you?
That's a
So
lot of
you need everyone
insecurities
to.
in
Yeah.
there.
Sorry.
A lot of insecurities in there, like with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
loud
Yeah.
cars.
And by the way, our guest returning for the first time since 2019, as we discussed, is Cosme Lucerio or AEFLUS. How you doing, bud? Welcome back.
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back. Yeah, it's been a while,
It has.
but I'm happy. I'm happy to be chatting with you guys. I'm happy to.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
In case you guys don't know who this wonderful person is, of course you do. Done such things as work at Sony for as a concept artist now.
Yep.
Does all
Mm-hmm.
those amazing Monster Hunter artworks on Twitter. One of 5 of which are my Magic play mat still. And now has become my my Pokemon play mat because I play Pokemon more than Magic.
What an honor.
And the Wooberg thing doesn't really work for Pokemon, but I don't care. I still use it. So yeah, it's been a while. So we're gonna be talking about kind of just what we've been playing lately and that kind of stuff to sort of catch up with Cosme. And I'm gonna saying that right. Sorry.
Yeah, and Cosmo's fine. Or you can call me A+, or
Right.
A+, even shorter.
Yeah, we'll stick with AEFLUS because that's your Twitter handle. That's what people were mostly. I interchange when I'm. Anyways, so we're going to be talking a lot of Diablo 4. We might talk some Zelda because I know Ace, you've still been playing that, and I've actually been
Oh, yeah.
for once keeping up with the Game Grumps and actually watching them play Zelda. And they also did a Diablo 3
Yeah.
4 start, and they're new to Diablo too, so it's been kind of cool to look at their opinions. But I really want to get into Diablo 4 with you, AEFLUS, because I am a super fan of this series, and I'm glad that you picked it up because there are so many cool things about this game. And I think that having the context of the previous games. By the way, did you watch the official lore videos leading up to it that they released?
I did not. I went in blind. Like
Okay.
I saw my friend play it, and I was like, "Looks cool. What do you think?" If I get it, and I'm like, "Fine, I'll get it." And that's it. I loved it.
So for context, for me personally, Diablo's story slash lore is my favorite story slash lore period in gaming. So I love Monster Hunter for the gameplay. I love Diablo for the loot and the story, and I love Doom for the gameplay. So like it being one of my big three, and you can't see it super well. Actually, let me be right back. I'm gonna turn on the light so you can see them. But I have a couple displays, and one of them is Diablo, so you'll be able to see something. Let me get the light on. I normally don't do it with the light on because I like being in the dark. But right here this is Diablo 3. So that's Diablo there fighting Imperius. And you don't know those characters because they're you wouldn't have encountered them yet in 4. Or at all, honestly. But there's the whole thing about Diablo universe is the angels versus the demons, and it's always been that way. And you get that like right from the beginning in any of the games. I suggest heavily looking into some of the lore that led up to Diablo 4 because it's so entertaining to get to where they're at. Because when you're in the world of Diablo 4, and I'm not going to do a lot of spoilers for you or anything, but starting point when you're walking to Diablo 4, I think the actual number is 10% or 20% of humanity is left alive after the events of Diablo 3's expansion. So
Dang.
80 to 90% of humans have died. Period. So it is a dark world and a dark game. And I'm not normally into sort of gothic and dark aesthetics, but I do love this series. Like my start from it, I was 8 years old, and I convinced my parents because my uncle Rick had a subscription to PC Gamer, and I was reading his copy when he brought it over. So I convinced them to let me get a PC Gamer subscription. You know, back when magazines were a thing, right? And
Back in the day.
yeah, my first magazine, I don't remember what the cover was on it at all. Don't even remember. Because in the middle of that was Diablo. The advertisement, like the full magazine deep dive. Here's Diablo, and it's coming out, and here's what it's about. And I read that thing front to back so many times, and I was just into it. And then I finally got to play it. I didn't get to play it till like a year or 2 after release. And then like literally the next year Diablo 2 came out, and then the expansion. So like I was deep in Diablo in my middle school and high school days, like all the time. So then to get
Do you
Diablo,
even sleep?
I did. I played because like Diablo's pre Monster Hunter, right? And this was the first game that I so hard dived into. And then there was long dry spells between Diablo games. And then yeah, it's where Monster Hunter came in, and I've always been a fan of Doom. I mean, I've been playing Doom since I was 5 when it came out. So, but yeah, so that's Monster Hunter, Doom, and Diablo, the sort of 4-to-1 triforce of gaming. It's hard to see, but that's Kieran, and that's a cacodemon from Monster Hunter or Doom. Sorry.
But You're gonna hate me for this, but I already passed Diablo 4, but I skipped every single scene of it.
Okay.
I
No,
just
if
I rushed through it because I did it for like the gameplay because
yeah.
it's such like a ADHD like mind like candy store because every single little thing gives you a little reward and you get a
Oh
nice
yeah.
dopamine rush from it. So the whole time I'm just like, oh dude, like what's next? And I would just skip scene like okay, well, what's next? Oh. And then I see all this lights come on and I was like, oh my god, I love this, and I keep playing it. And I was telling my friend Bio, and I was like, he's like, dude, you're already like level I think it's like 32, and I was like, yeah. And it's like, what do you think of the story? I was like, I don't know, dude. I haven't watched any of it. And he's like, dude, like that's the best part. I was like, you're gonna have to send me a lore video. I don't know if anybody can send me like
Oh,
a lore video that they love,
I got you.
so I can go through it.
I got you covered. I will
Perfect.
send it. I will send you 2 different playlists because there's the official one, which I think the official one is a good context for what Diablo 4 starts. And then there's one, you're familiar with the YouTuber Riker? He's more of a Diablo focused content creator. So Riker has an amazing lore series, which he delves into every game, every character into depth. So it's like a 32 video series of like lore.
I'm
And
ready.
they're like 45 minutes of video. So like something that you can do while you're working or doing something else. Like, I love the lore for this game, and I'm normally like you. Honestly, I normally am, but this is the exception for me. Like, I have the voices on, I have all the music up, like I am immersed. Now that I'm in endgame and I've beaten the story and I'm not doing as many side quests, I am more dual screening. Like I watched the Meg today while I was playing because I've never seen the Meg, which is awesome. I can't.
Yeah,
Is there a second one coming?
I'm ready for number 2.
Yeah. That's why I watched it because I was like, wait, I never saw the first one. I got to see the first one so I can see number 2. Awesome, just sort of like disaster movie, which I thought it was just going to be cheesy like Sharknado or something. Like, no, it's a legit disaster movie.
Yeah.
I was like,
good.
okay,
I was
cool.
surprised too.
Yeah. So like I watched the Meg today. I listened to a podcast yesterday. I was playing. By the way, I don't have the kids today, so like it's just been me and Diablo, like taking a break for lunch to do something else, or went out. I had to get dog food for the dog, and like I came back and more Diablo, and I was playing up until podcast time. So like, the lore. I won't get too much into the lore stuff since you've been skipping it, AEFLUS, but I will say like there are some quotes in here that not only have me rolling. Actually, you know what? You've been skipping stories, so I'm going to tell you the quotes because you just got to hear them.
Do it.
So
Do it.
I talked about these last week when Ace was on, so he's already heard these. But here are 4 quotes from the game that I found were fantastic. So the first one, the first 3 come through like side dialogue or side quests. So the first one is, fear has a way of making the wise into fools. And I was like, that is a good quote. Like, that's just,
That is a good quote.
the second one comes from this like witch up in the forested area. You know which one I'm talking about? The northern part of the map. She's like up on a hill, and she's like all cackly and stuff, and she's like, coincidence and opportunity are sisters. And I was like, that is a good one. That's a good one because she wants you to do something for her, and it helps you in the same time. And then another one was, the answers you need are often in the places you least want to look. So that's like another deep one. But this is the funny one, and this is in the main campaign. Lorath, the guy you kind of have to meet in the beginning, the sort of like curmudgeony old guy that's sort of like meeting you through the story and stuff. I know you kind of skipped him, but he's like, he's very early in the game, and he's like the just drunk that's trying to get his shit together so that he can help save the world with you. So you find him passed out in a stall in one of the areas for a story quest, and then your character comes up and you do the dialogue thing like, what happened? And he's like, obviously, I was attacked by vast amounts of alcohol, which was wielded by my own treacherous hand. I was rolling.
Well, been there.
Yeah. So, and I get where you're coming from because all my friends, they all skip the story. But I'm like the one like Diablo lore nerd. Like, I think it's really cool. I'm playing a necromancer, by the way. What class have you been playing?
I got Druid.
Druid?
I mean, I knew nothing about it, and I was just reading through it, and I was just like, okay, Necromancer looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at Barbarians, and then I was looking at what's the other one? Rogues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want something tanky. So I was between Druid and Barbarians, and I was
Yes.
like, and then I didn't know what I wanted, and then I said like, oh shit, like Druids have werewolves, and I was like, okay, sorry, like
Yeah.
werewolves are gonna win. And there you go.
Yeah, I love that they kept the skill because we haven't seen a druid since Diablo 2.
Really? Okay.
All of the classes in Diablo 4 are returning classes. They've always been in a different Diablo. The Barbarian has been in every Diablo, if you include the first one's expansion. The Druid only appeared in 2 and 4. And then we have the Sorcerer, who appears in a form. They're called a mage in Diablo 1, but then they're definitely in 2. They skip 3 because there's a different reason to call them a wizard in 3. And then there's a lore reason between a sorcerer and a wizard in Diablo. So you're back to being a sorcerer in 4. The rogue is actually the only class to be returning from Diablo 1. The rogue was only in Diablo 1 until 4. And then the necromancer has been in everything since 2.
Dang.
So
Do they usually add characters later on, or that's it? Like what they start is what they're gonna end with.
Most likely, we are going to be getting a 6th class. There could be arguments for a 7th or even 8th, because there are archetypes that are not filled right now, heavy ones in normal Diablo stuff. We don't have a holy warrior. A lot of times we have a paladin or crusader or that kind of thing that's not present in Diablo 4. You do interact with both sections of holy orders. So there's 2 different holy orders. There's the sort of like knights / paladins, the Zakarat, which is all over the southeastern continent, part of the continent, the southeastern part of the game. The jungles, if you've been there. You'll find all sorts of Zakarum faith and that kind of thing. That's where the paladins come from. And then there's also the monks from Diablo 3, but they come from Ishtar, which is on a different continent. So it's possible they could come back, but it'd have to be I don't know. They don't really describe why what classes are in the game and why too much. And then there's speculations of the Amazons coming back, which are possibly because we do have a ranged build, which is what the Amazon was in the Rogue, but Amazons are also the only spear wielders, and so we don't have a spear wielder. Along with the holy stuff, we don't have any people that focus on shields. I think the only people that really benefit anything from shields are necromancers and barbarians, but it's always a side thing. It's never my class is focused on blocking kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other archetypes. It's not like Blizzard hasn't said we're getting a 6th class, but we are probably getting a 6th class in whatever expansion comes out, which is usual. It's pretty usual because in Diablo 2 we only had 5 classes, and then the expansion came out and we had 7. Diablo 3 started with 5, we ended up getting 7. So pattern says that we're going to get 7.
Very likely.
Yes. I only picked the Necromancer because Necromancer is my least favorite class. So I wanted to start with the least favorite because I'm going to be playing all 5.
Nice.
And I'm actually quite enjoying my build. So I went with the least informed build according to people right now, because most people want to be running like solo Necromancer with a little bit of helpers. I am full on all of the biggest army Necromancer, and they are my minions. And I Have you messed around with titles yet in your character?
Not yet. Oh no one. I'm Lucky Bear. That's
Lucky
all.
Bear,
Yeah.
nice. So mine is what did I call myself? Unholy Legion, I think is what mine is.
As soon as you load up, it's like all the whole thing.
Right. So I found a bunch of legendary powers that increases my max number of skeletons. So I went
Okay.
from your normal max is 7, which is 4 warriors and 3 mages, and I went to 12. So I have 7 warriors and 5 mages, and then of course the
You
golem.
number the enemies.
Yeah, the golem on top of it. But most guides say that minions suck because they die. But
Yeah.
my advice to you as a player, and this is the same with Monster Hunter, even don't worry too much about the meta. Just find your own way, have fun with it. I will say, as a druid, a lot of people aren't liking the druid right now in the meta, but
It's hard. I was like, dude, like, what the heck? Like, I mean, I was imploding the whole beginning, and then after a while, I got the hang. I got the hang of it, and I usually like I have no build. I just whatever weapon I get, I was like, okay, that's what I'm changing my skills every day, pretty much. With every new weapon, I'm like, fuck it, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a tough one. And then it wasn't until later that my buddy he's a druid too. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, apparently the druid is like, it's supposed to be hard at the beginning and it's supposed to be a late bloomer. And I was just like, damn, I see it now. Cause
Yeah. A lot of people are saying in the late game he's really good, but he's got an itemization problem. There's a confirmed bug where the druid is finding barbarian items, and that shouldn't be happening. They should be finding druid items. So like they gave a statistic that is like, if you're finding 10, let's say uniques, because item rarity goes from like normal to magical to rare to legendary to unique. And unique is like sort of like the chase items depending on your build. You can't deck yourself out with all uniques because then your build will just be trash and all over the place. You want certain uniques for certain builds. But yeah, you find 10 uniques or whatever, right? And then like maybe half of them are going to be useful to your build or whatnot. And like of those 10 uniques, one of them is actually a druid one, and another 9 are barbarian ones because there's a bug in the loot drop table for druids. So it's like, oh, okay, that's going to be... So you're going to have a tough time with that at the late game, but they just announced yesterday or the day before that there's a giant patch coming in before season 1, which is like mid to late July. This is going to be fixing stuff like that and some other things that people have been concerned about. So there's a giant patch coming in like super soon to fix all that.
I hope so. It's been tough in the streets over here with druids. I was like, damn. My first game, and I'm like, man, I stuck to it. I mean, I liked it, but
I will say overall, Diablo 4 is a much more difficult game in comparison to Diablo 3 and even Diablo 2. It is actively difficult in areas, and I enjoy that, honestly. It is the opposite of what we're seeing with Monster Hunter, which is the game's getting easier with every iteration. It literally, like in my opinion, to put it in Monster Hunter context, we went from Rise difficulty in Diablo 3 to Freedom Unite in Diablo 4. Like,
wow, that's a big jump.
It is.
All right.
You actively have to care about what you're getting hit by. You actively have to care about what your resistances are. And it's kind of burning my one friend out who's super casual about it. He's the kind of guy that looks up a build, tries to do everything, doesn't understand why he's doing the build, and then gets frustrated and quits. Much love for him, but I mean, that's just how he plays. And yeah, he's been having problems. He's like, "God, you got to run dungeons with me, Fort. You got to do it because like I need help." And I'm like, "Dude, you're so better geared than me," because he's been spamming dungeons since like day 4. Me, I'm a completionist. I have already found all the altars, done every dungeon. I've explored every area and beat the story. So I actually just finished all the areas today. It was my last area completed. So Now I'm doing the dungeon spam.
Now we're going in it.
Yeah. So a little more on Ace's expertise and kind of stuff. So Monster Hunter stuff. Like, where are we at with Monster Hunter for you, AEFLUS? Like, I know Rise. I didn't get to hear much about Rise, but Ace and I generally have liked Rise. What was your opinion of Rise and Sunbreak?
I think they were good. I mean, like you said, they were easy, but I mean, they had to do it for like to get people in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I like the story. Had a solid, good story, and the only thing I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
was probably like how long it took to get everything out, and
Oh,
the
sure.
kind of like the last monster was kind of like lackluster. Like, okay, Maldeno, the silver one, I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like,
Yeah, I haven't even booted up the game since it was released. Like, I'm not.
There have I.
Yeah.
I
I've
went
been
through like a spell and I repicked it up before Diablo, and I had been playing it like getting all the newer like skills and stuff that they added.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Diablo 4 came in, I'm like, okay, I killed the new Malfeno, and then like, okay, I'll stop it.
Yeah,
Good.
I came in for the last update, the day it released. Defeated Amatsu, defeated the Risen Gore or Shagaru, sorry, Risen Shagaru, and I was like, oh, I got to crown hunt Risen Shagaru. No, I'm gonna wait till Malzeno comes out, and I haven't played since, because that leaves it right now of only 2 monsters I haven't crown hunted, which is
Yeah.
the new Malzeno and Risen Shagaru. And yeah, crown hunting was my thing, but I don't think I'm gonna do it right now for the last 2 monsters. No.
yeah, I haven't fought Primordial Malzeno yet.
Yeah, there you go, Primordial. There's the name.
The last thing I did was Amatsu, which Amatsu is a lot more fun, a lot more dangerous, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely unexpectedly got. I mean, so it's weird. I was able to solo it just fine by myself, but in a group we got board wiped by one of its ultimate hurricane moves.
Oh.
So
So
the one that already has to go up.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I accidentally was playing a little bit too loose and got myself caught in that. I think I was the reason that we failed. But I mean, everyone else, well, at least someone theoretically else fainted 3 times to cause that. So, or two or three. I don't remember how many it has on the specific quest, but it was
I think
interesting.
it's
But
3.
yeah, I haven't gone back in a while. Tears of Kingdom has been sucking up all of my gaming time when I have it.
Fair
Is that a
enough.
Nargigante keychain on your thing?
Yeah, actually, my whole mic and stand is actually
Nice.
adorned with them.
Yeah.
Got Tigrex over here. Got Arathalos all the way over here. Got Palumu and Nargacuga right here. Braki, Nargigante, and then Zinogre. These were actually ones that they had at GameStop a while ago. And as a birthday present last year, I think it was, or the year before, maybe, uh, Andrew just got me the whole box. Like we asked if that'd be okay, and we just picked up the whole box of keychains.
Nice.
So I got like the whole set and everything, and had I think like 2 to 4 doubles. I think so. It was pretty cool. I've also got a Pookie that I originally was carrying around on my keychain, but the like little ringlet snapped because it's kind of weak. So I've just been leaving these here because yeah, that was a kind of an indicator of how resilient they'd be on a key set. So
Yeah.
I just leave them here as a themed part of the podcast for myself.
I think between Rise and iPhone and World had or iPhone had a better ending,
Mm-hmm.
like Wise, than
Mhm.
Rise did. It felt
Oh,
more like complete.
Yes.
oh, absolutely, and especially with like not even specifically talking about like the story, just like in terms of the monster, the final monster in general. I mean, you can't top the reinvention of the Fatalis fight because that just was like the happiest Monster
It
Hunter
was.
fight I've had in years. Like the
Yeah.
whole the whole saga from Elatrion returning and then to Fatalis was just like
With
it's almost like
Frostfang,
one of those things of like, do you think they maybe made Elatrion difficult and kind of sucky with the DPS check just to then come back and give us like a, oh, you thought we were done and you thought that was the best we could do. Here's Fatalis. We're gonna
yeah.
make it a tough but fair fight. And then once you get to the final stage, we're gonna put in proof of the hero and make you suffer
That's
through the nostalgia.
that's always been a thing though. Like proof of a hero being used at the end of a fight has been a thing since Monster Hunter 1. Like that is a Monster Hunter trope to put in proof of the hero at
Yeah,
the
but
end of a fight.
are you are you gonna tell me that you didn't have a little bit of like a hype slash nostalgia
I
like
got
Okay.
chills when I was
surge
listening
up
to it.
with the
I
Fatalis fight
I
in
am not
specific?
gonna say I didn't because proof of a hero by itself will make me tear up without a fight behind it. But
Right.
but I will say that when it happens, I'm not thrown off by it. I'm like, of course, proof of a hero. Why wouldn't it be anything else? It's like the opposite of the Spanish Inquisition. You just should expect it.
It's in my love making like playlist. Proof of a hero. That's how you finish.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. No.
legit. I would put on. So have you heard the jazz CD for Monster Hunter? The official Monster Hunter jazz stuff.
I haven't.
So like that's a pretty popular. You could look it up on YouTube. It's pretty good. But I legit would put the jazz poke version as a lovemaking one. I 100% would. It goes hard on the saxophone.
We'll try that. Oh, I'm a bookmark right now.
Yeah, it's I don't remember what it's called. It's not the Black Lute is the metal one. I don't remember what the jazz one is called. But I'll have to look it up because it's all the characters in Japanese. But yeah, so what do we feel about the future of Monster Hunter right now? Because right now we're in a gray area. We don't know what's happening, right? They had a Capcom
I'm gonna
showcase. We had Bupkis for Monster Hunter on that showcase. Like they mentioned that there is a 20-year anniversary during the stream and showed nothing for it. But like so where do
well
you
didn't
think we're
didn't
going?
they bring up Monster Hunter now, I thought? At least thought I
I
saw
mean,
that
it's
The
like
mobile,
people
it's
were
the
like
mobile
saying.
game.
it's like Diablo Immortal. It doesn't exist to me. Like that's not a thing.
I mean I've been playing beta so I can confirm that it does exist.
Oh, you
Um
like it? I tried to get in it. I couldn't.
uh I think it's what you would expect with it being a mobile Monster Hunter made by Niantic. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever played Monster Hunter Dynamic Hunting on iOS, so like uh,
It's a
from the iTunes store back in the day.
no.
But it's a lot of like gesture-based stuff for the combat.
Yeah.
Um, all world monsters.
Of
You'll be
course.
happy to know, Fortuan, Diablos made the cut.
And he has to. He's one of the three. He has to.
Yeah, theoretically, but you know,
He's
he
only.
wasn't one of the ones that was initially initially showed up,
Mm,
but he was in there. But it does a lot of like gesture based where you like swipe up or swipe left, right to dodge and stuff like that.
yeah.
Okay.
You tap to use the weapons. If they're a charge weapon, you press and hold on the screen. For like sword and shield, you press and hold to use the shield. And then they have like ultimate moves that once you build up a certain number of hits, then you can do like an ultimate move. So it'll be like for greatsword, it's like the true charge slash where you do like the windmill thing, the longsword. It's the anime one where you go up in the air, come down, and then it has the delayed.
Helm splitter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a lot of walking involved, like the Pokemon Go and stuff that you gotta?
Yeah. So kind of sadly, recently they did a update or they removed it from beta or something is going on because um I couldn't use it and it kept telling me to update the app and update the app when I already had updated it.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh.
like, all right, maybe I need to delete it and reinstall it. I did that once, still didn't work. Did it twice, still didn't work. Then the third time, it just completely disappeared, and I can't pull it up in the store and download it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was using that as a partial excuse to get out and be more active and walk around. So
I actually
theoretically, would be
I live in town now, so I could essentially do that because that was what stopped me from playing Pokemon Go. Is just living in the country where there's no Pokestops.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fun.
Well, you'll be happy to know that there's a lot less focus on like the geographical like markers
Mm-hmm.
because those essentially are like resource spots. They're not like gyms or locations where the monsters are.
It's where you get
Um,
your honey and herbs.
right, or like bone piles and uh, mining points and stuff like that.
I'm gonna be legit
Uh,
mad if my house isn't near a bone reserve because literally I live across from a graveyard.
Shit.
that'd be funny.
Yeah, like
Um,
literally the thing across my house is the town graveyard.
I hope maybe that you can add it because I know Pokemon Go you can make certain spots gym.
Mm-hmm.
If you reach a certain level, maybe you can add it. That's it. Boom.
Huh.
And you better do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if I play the game, I notoriously do not like cell phone games. So,
but yeah, around our house, I'm I was typically able to get 2 to 3 large monsters, and then they have different uh, things that you can use. So you can, like the incense, you can sort of boost the range or whatever.
Nice.
Well, I don't know if the incense does that, but you can like boost the range and reach a little bit wider, so you can pull more monsters and stuff like that. And then even going up north too, recently, there were some spawning around when I pull up Pokemon Go, it hardly pulls up anything ever up there. So it's a lot more interactive, I would say, than Pokemon Go. So if you're
okay.
looking for another excuse to get more active, there's one right there for when that eventually comes out.
Definitely getting it. I'm surprised they didn't use the flute. You guys remember the flute to attract monsters and Unite and the older game? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I do not. Was that the first game?
No, I think also in the Freedom, you
Yeah,
can play a flute and it will attract the big monsters.
Yeah, there was the flute was in the first one and it survived up until Freedom Unite, and then we didn't get it in 3 and not further.
I think it was maybe the horn. They changed it to being called the horn because I remember taking out a horn and you're like, and then a monster comes, I think. I've never used that very much in Freedom Unite. I
Yeah,
mainly just
it is the horn. Yeah, it is. You are right. That's what it was called, the horn, because but I never used it either because what you would have used it for is to combine it with demon drugs to get the demon horn and the health horn and the
You buff everybody up.
yeah, like it was
yeah.
it was the base for the
Back in
combinations, but if you used it by itself, it would attract monsters.
back in my first playthrough of Freedom Unite, I would just use the tried and true strategy of just running around the map like with my head cut off. I knew how to use paintballs and stuff, but uh, sometimes my paintball reserves were low, and then I had to run around and try to find them, or it would just wear off, and I'd have to run around and try to find them. I remember specifically
Mm-hmm.
uh, G rank Hezu in the old jungle. was a pain in the ass because once it got to super low health, it would go to literally like the opposite end of the map in like the very end of the cave system.
Oh
And
yeah, that was a carryover from Monster Hunter One. It did it too, because it would fly and it would land in that water area, walk for like 4 steps, and then would fly up, and then it would go into that cave area and take forever to crawl across the ceiling and then hang down eventually.
yeah, so there were quite a few timeouts on the quest back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't remember if I've ever actually looked it up, but did you guys ever try to catch the little lobster or crayfish or whatever that was in that
Oh,
water area
for
that would
hours, for hours. I legit thought that's how you got the lobster armor for ever in the original Monster Hunter, till it was later found out to be a drop from Plesioth. Like,
That's the one that you try to
yeah,
hit and it will like fly back, right?
yes,
The
yeah.
lobster. Yeah. Okay.
Or if you just
Yeah.
get too close to it, it would just run away. I tried so many times to like either to hit it or to like make sure I brought a net to see if I could catch it that way. But it just seems to be like an endemic life sort of that is sort of interactable in a sense where it will run
yeah,
away from you, but you can't actually do anything with it.
yeah.
Such
That's
I've
a
forgotten
such
about
a
that.
goofy little thing.
yeah. I definitely remember it because I failed a quest just to deal with that lobster one time because I wanted to make the small lobster. It was specifically in Monster Hunter One that I did this. I remember it. Oh, by the way, while I was at mom and dad's, my dad was like, "Hey, we got some of your old game stuff in the so they have a new I it's supposed to be for work, but it's this giant shed that they built in the back. It's metal, but in a tote, all of our old gaming stuff. And I was supposed to be in my brother's room, but apparently he kicked it out and didn't tell me. Um,
Hmm.
in there is the old PlayStation 2 that I used to use and the memory card. So I might be able to resurrect my original Monster Hunter save. I haven't
Nice.
tried yet, but
Nice.
the stuff has been found, and I know I still have PS2 copies here at this house because of my
Uh,
collection. I have 4 copies of Monster Hunter on PS2 right now, so one of them's bound to work.
I have one copy, but I don't have a PS2. So eventually.
Yeah.
And then
I did
I've
not
got
mute myself.
two PSPs, one of which I think the disc slash optical drive does not work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I got the replacement one, and that one works. So I've been uh,
Didn't you also
playing
get
on
a
my
Vita?
yeah, I have a Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've sort of been going back to my uh, original save, which is a little bit shy of 1,000 hours of playtime. But that was since I like started that in middle school.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I did start a new playthrough on uh, the Vita because I digitally downloaded it before the store closed down because I think it's closed down now, or maybe that was just the
Maybe.
Wii U and DS shop. Uh, but yeah, I've been playing through that like really like sparsely here and there, and having a second D-pad that's programmable so you can move around and not have to do the claw of arthritis is very very nice.
My my brother and I have a couple times discussed going back to Generations Ultimate for me to crown hunt and him just wanting to play the cat again. Uh,
Uh,
um, so we've discussed doing that, but I personally I don't think I would ever go back before Generations Ultimate at this point. Like if I like you and I played a little bit on 3 Ultimate, but even that was painful for me. Like that was like, oh, I don't like this anymore. I love the game, but like the quality of
well,
life is terrible.
Well, there's one of the things that I was going to bring up for the future of Monster Hunter is that I hope they bring back water combat
Mm-hmm.
and exploration,
They,
because I think that would be a great environment to see realized in like a current gen platform, even on like the Switch.
Adult
I
Global.
think,
Let's do it. Adult Global.
I mean, hell yeah, be happy to see that. Um, I mean, like they came up with the wire bugs, so I'm sure they could come up with some sort of endemic life and or way around there being low or clunky traversal underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could theoretically just have it be like rays or something like that, or fish, or have it be like
Dolphins.
a
You have
lamprey that attaches to your armor or something goofy like that.
you have a dolphin buddy that you surf/ride on.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Dolphin buddy. Pokemon Palafin. You know what? I don't care what anyone says. The newest Pokemon's by far my favorite designs lately.
Hmm.
Baxcalibur, Palafin, so many good ones. I like my
I
superhero
mean,
dolphin.
It was dope. It was an
I
interesting
mean,
one when I saw it.
Yeah.
I've also said it before too. I would take an entire like mainline Monster Hunter game in the art style of like stories.
Sure. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Most people are going to want world though. They're going to want the focus on
As realistic as
realism.
possible.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
focus on real ecology. I'm like, come on, guys. It's not even Monster Hunter World had some stupid stuff when it comes to ecology. Like don't get me started.
The Wigglers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Oh no, the world is it Iceborne? Yeah, Iceborne commits the highest sin for me on ecology, which is the Rajang eating Kieran's horn, which is just so dumb. Have you heard my rant about this, AEFLUS? It's
I have not.
so literally every single hunter's note that mentions Kieran mentions how rare it is and how they've known about it since the beginning and there have been sightings, but because it's so rare that there is not a lot of information on Kieran, even up to World. World, they're like, it is still a mythical beast that we see once in a while and we know jack shit about it. And that is literally what the Hunter's Notes says. Don't know enough, haven't seen it enough, we know it's a thing, that's about it, right?
Right.
Then we have Rajang, which is A, not rare, B, you know, been in every game since it came out, feels like. And then it powers up by eating Kieran horns. That doesn't make any sense because do you realize that the predator to prey ratio needed for every Rajang to become a super Rajang for there to be that many Kierans when they literally say it's the rarest monster in the Monster Hunter universe? Like, that means that Rajang has to be incredibly rare as well, and even more rare than Kieran for that to be feasible. But then it wouldn't even be feasible because it's rare. So they would never meet in the wild naturally. So, like, it
Maybe
infuriates
next game
me.
you'll get something like the Red Jang population's dying because they overate.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
Over to
maybe
extinction.
maybe Kieran horns are like gecko tails. They just regrow like crazy.
No, they clearly show the Kieran dying from having its horn popped off in that cutscene. You see nothing of that Kieran once it's broken. It's tossed aside. Like, you don't see. And, you know, it'd be. I would lend more credit to the theory if we actually saw Kierans without horns. If that would be a thing, like a quest of like the hornless Kieran, right?
Hmm.
Nope, not a thing. Never been a thing. So this is literally like this. Literally, it is the thing ecologically I hate the most in Monster Hunter, and they confirmed it in Iceborne, and I was furious. I wrote articles. I wrote I wrote so many Twitter posts. I was like, "You guys suck, and I hate all of you." Whoever decided to make a cutscene out of this scenario, you're fired in my brain. You're fired. Get out of here. I hate you.
I found it more ridiculous that the captain was fighting the Rajang. What the heck?
Yeah. I do like how they make the NPCs in the later Monster Hunters less helpless. I do like that.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Well, I mean, they they made the handler have like ridiculously high stamina, or going from the back of a Aptonoth to the back of a Jagras to the back of a friggin' Devil Joe.
she's the Mr. Magoo of Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I like Rage Gaming's uh insert on it when he was playing through, where he just puts the carnival music, the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. It's just the madhouse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if
I
I
mean,
can't have that much stamina to go between those three, why does she get to have that much stamina?
because all she does is eat.
True.
Like,
Very true.
we ate like we get to eat once before a quest. She gets to eat like 7 times before a quest. Like she's eating,
Or maybe
and then
During the quest.
we get on the quest and she's eating, and then we come back and she's eating.
well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe she's pulling a link, and in between flying from one monster to another, she's just quick popping like a chicken wing in her mouth.
Yeah.
She has like 3 stamina bars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got her whole stamina. She's the 3 rings around it. Yeah. The Tears of the Kingdom / Breath of the Wild stamina circle.
Yeah, that's why. That's what she has.
Yep.
I'd say I'd also like to see Nursula and Gigi Nox come back, because
That'd be
I
cool.
like the creepy monsters. I think Plesioth also needs to return, and if they bring Labasioth back, they need to return the Piscine stature to its former glory, and not have them be
Small.
like tiny,
Mm-hmm.
tiny. Like, the just comparing even Plesioth to like Labasioth, it's leagues different. Like G rank Plesioth stands what, like 2 to 3 times your height,
Yeah.
maybe even 4, and like that's where the hip check memes come from, because he's so big in G rank that his hitbox is larger than you'd expect.
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
But like,
I've talked about that before. Where legit Plesioth and Gravius were so huge in comparison to any other monster. It was just there's not a
that
comparable monster in Rise. Like there just isn't.
that that'd be another thing too for Gen 6, not having implied monsters not be included,
That's what I
because
said.
Oh,
what with our final count, what we had
13.
Zamtrios not included, we had uh Great Jaggy not included, so many more.
Great
Like
Jagras, Tetsukabra,
Great Jagras, Texucabra.
Agnactor was the one that hurt me the most.
Oh yeah.
Gravius,
Gravios, yes.
because we have Basarius. We have Gravius skulls in
That's true.
Rise.
Yeah.
Monoblos, because of Hermitar.
Mhm.
Oh
yeah, and friggin' Plum Daimyo Hermitar and Shogun Sanitar. Why didn't those make any appearances?
yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan of those two.
No, they're fine. I mean, I've never really been hyped about subspecies. Like, they're okay. But
More monsters.
it is. I won't disagree, but
Did I don't think we didn't get Red Kazu, did we?
no.
No,
Mm-mm.
I didn't.
I'm,
And that's the stuff
I'm
I was
sure
expecting for late game too.
there was enough penis jokes
Yeah.
already. They didn't want to go with the red rocket. They really didn't.
I was gonna say they didn't want angry sad beard man to come back. I don't know if you remember that at all, AEFLUS, but that was an interesting time for the game as well.
Yeah, the guy who quit Monster Hunter because of low rank kazoo.
Oh, okay, I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird too because he like I at the time investigated and I was like, you played World. Like, did you not listen to like any of the tutorial? Because I like watched like leading up to him
Mm-hmm.
getting triple carded and like he's just not really using much of the new mechanics. And I'm
Nope.
like, are you intentionally doing this? Are you intentionally making your experience worse by not using the mechanics in the game and the mobility? Because like I'm super hyped with the amount of mobility that we have in this. Like, can you imagine if we had this in the first game or like in Freedom Unite? How
Mm-hmm.
crazy that would have been? Like, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta. It took me a while to get used to the bugs. But once I got
Uh,
it, I mean, it's just like second nature now. It's just
Oh
like I
yeah.
can't move around the map without them now.
yeah,
I
I've gone back.
legit
Oh,
stuck hard to greatsword because of the wire bugs. Like I can't even try to begin to play anything else at this point. And everyone uses the what was it, the strong arm, where they get hit and they hit back. Screw that. From day one, I was always using the one where you vault up, bounce up, and do the aerial greatsword charge.
Yeah.
Even when it still costed 2 wire bugs, I was still legit using it. And people are like, why? And then the push block, like instead of the shoulder check, like dude, if anything stays, we gotta have the switch skills. Like the switch skills is the thing that we have to keep because I want to keep a greatsword that can block. Because the push block made greatsword for me in all of Rise. I never moved or changed any of my wirebug things from base Rise to end of Sunbreak because I was so in love with those wirebug moves and switch skills. Like I was just
mhm.
sold.
And
Yeah,
it felt like new weapons. Like, I mean, every like if you change one or two things, it just feels like a brand new game now. So
Yeah.
they did
yeah.
right by that. They did right. That's
Yeah.
good.
Switch skills need to stay. I'm still of the opinion because I thought we would have got something in the Capcom showcase that we just recently got. I'm still of the opinion that we're not even going to hear about a new Monster Hunter this year, personally. Like I feel like we're going to be in the dark a little longer than usual because I think they're going to take a little more time to follow up whatever the next Monster Hunter is. Personally,
Mm.
that's what I feel, but I could be wrong. Um, and honestly, with Diablo 4, because I'm gonna be stuck in that game probably the rest of the year, no doubt, for me. Like, that doesn't bother me. I can have a break from
Mhm.
Monster Hunter for a couple years, I think, at this point. Because I went so hard on World and Iceborne and then so hard on Rise and Sunbreak that like I kind of burnt myself out towards the end of Sunbreak. And it wasn't even just like
Mm.
it and I will say like my dedication to Rise and Sunbreak was a lot longer than because if you remember Ace, Sunbreak came out, we had how many, like we had like sometimes 3 rooms of people hunting together on the Discord, and then
Yep.
it dropped off hard, and I would say I was playing a lot longer than a lot of people because I was doing the crown hunting. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's how I got like what am I at, like 1,300 hours now on Sunbreak,
Nice.
and I beat Sunbreak on PC as well. Like I did it on Switch and
Okay.
PC, so I'm ready for the next one. Like I can't, like I might fight Primal Alzino, Primordial. Sorry, Primordial Alzino. I might. I don't think I am, to be honest. Like I'm done. I'm ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
Um,
gonna come back in the Switch, or what's the lifespan of the Switch now? Like,
They keep
mean,
saying that we're halfway through the Switch's lifespan. Nintendo keeps
Yeah.
saying that. So,
and I mean, it's like every month or every other month we also get like a rumor of the like
Switch
high-end
2.
Switch, like
Yeah. No.
the high performance, which I think if they were to do that, they'd be stupid not to go with the sort of nostalgia bait naming and call it a Super Switch.
That'd be
Because,
cool.
like, let's be honest, why would you not do that? Why would you not
I
like
mean,
go for that nostalgia factor?
I mean,
Like, don't,
I get what you're saying, but like, you remember when the first rumors came out and we ended up getting the OLED instead? You remember?
yeah,
I have the same opinion as I did then. No, it's not happening. It's not a thing, and I was entirely right. It was just the OLED, and I feel like
yeah.
we are not getting a new Switch. They're going to run this thing dry for the next, at least, in my opinion, 3 or 4 years.
Well, I
And
think we
Wow.
would be getting a new Switch just based on the fact that like this is what their best-selling console. So I think they would upgrade and improve it, possibly keep it at the same price point and just
yeah,
discontinue and discount the normal and the OLED and the light because that would be what makes most sense to me. Um, I would say they
this
just
is
need to make sure
Nintendo.
that they don't pull the same stuff that they did with the Wii U and completely mismarket it and also have a poor naming for it
Yeah.
because going from the Wii to the Wii U just makes it sound like it's sort of an extension of the Wii, which it wasn't. They should have called it like the Nintendo Gamepad Pro or something like that.
While
Like differentiate it.
while it's undeniable that the Wii U was a marketing problem with because people just didn't realize it was another, that was undeniable to the casual audience, right? What really
Mhm.
killed the Wii U, in my opinion, is the quick drop off of support of no other games. And then there was a long dry spell of
Well,
Nintendo keeping it alive.
I would say that those things compounded each other because, like, you got to figure
But let's
they're
be
the family gaming company, and like, you didn't clearly specify that it's a separate console with the name,
right.
and like just general sort of like soccer mom type people who are going to be buying these types of consoles for their kids isn't necessarily going to know the difference, and they're not necessarily going to be wanting to pay like what was it, $300 $400 at the time? I think 300.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're not going to be wanting to pay for that when they've already possibly got a Wii, or if they can just get a Wii for like $100 or like 150 or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
So like you gotta you gotta clearly define it, you've got to market it, and you've got to differentiate it because
And
if you don't do that,
I mean, yes, for sure. But I think that that wasn't the only problem. Is what I'm trying to say. Is like
right?
there was a lack of support by other companies, and it was like straight up um like the Rayman Legends debacle from Ubisoft. Like Ubisoft treated Nintendo like garbage during that time, and then
Mhm.
I don't like Ubisoft in general, so it wasn't like I was super hyped for Rayman Legends. But like you got, and then you got like if you got a port on the Switch or not a Switch, sorry, on the Wii U, it was a terrible port that they didn't put a lot of effort in. And then, but I'm gonna be
Right.
honest, like of that generation of gaming, so we're talking like PS3, and what was it, Xbox
360.
360? Really?
Yep.
No, I
Yep.
thought because Wii U came out and then it was PS4 and Xbox One, I think. Wii U came out a lot earlier than the other two, but I think that's more the generation we're talking about. What I'm trying to say is around that time period, when Nintendo's kind of offset themselves from the other gaming generations at this point
Yeah.
because of the Wii U, honestly, and the Switch. Um, I will say that most of the games that were coming out on PlayStation and Xbox, I wouldn't have played anyways, personally. Like, I think that the Wii U, when you look back, had the fire games at that time. And then you have,
Oh yeah.
there's some certainly good award winners from the other systems at that time, but like, they're not like super iconic. I cannot think of a series or a game that came out during that time that is like beloved on the ranks of like remembering gaming forever. Maybe the Shadow of Mordor games, because that was around that time, but everything else was just sequelitis. You know what I mean? Like it was just sequel, or Order 1886, or we're talking like early PS4 days. Like there was no reason for me to get a PS4 until Mortal Kombat X came out. Like for me, like there was no reason to get an Xbox One ever because things come out on the computer if you have one. But like, it was just, it's a weird time in the generation because we talk about how much the Wii U failed, but like honestly, I think in the end it won because it has the best games of that time. Period. Like I literally can't think of other games that stack up in that time period. Can you guys? Because The Last of Us has already been out for a long time by that time.
Yeah, I mean, Last of Us definitely one of the best from PlayStation at that time, and still is, I would say.
But I don't think it came out at the same time around the Wii U, did it? When did Last of Us come out the first time?
2013.
2013. Okay, so that's one of them. That's legit.
But as we other stuff, like that was, I like really got into gaming around like 2016, I would say. So
Okay.
like
So
that's where my gaming really picked up. So
I'm trying to think. The Lord of the Rings, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War around that time. We had already been done with Mass Effect. We had Dragon Age Inquisition during that time. Because I'm trying to remember this based on
Fallout 4.
Yeah, we had Doom 2016 in this era too. Early play PS4, Titanfall 2, Titanfall 1. So there's some, but like I could name like 13 Wii U games that I love and that we play on the Switch still, like Mario Kart 8, Pikmin 3, like
Mass Effect 2 was 2010.
that's pre Wii U by 2 years.
So 2013. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5. Then, if we're talking 2013.
Fair. I never played it, but fair.
Yeah.
I just do remember looking at PlayStation's
still
catalog.
getting support.
Yeah, I remember just looking at PlayStation's catalog at that time. It was like I care about none of this. Like none of this is good. We might have got
Papers, Please. That came out in 2013.
Papers, Please is an indie game on PC at the time. That is not.
I know. It was out on Vita. It has a release on Vita.
The Vita was worse than the Wii U, man. You can't use that as an argument. You cannot. I mean, like stuff like Shovel Knight, like, and the Wii U was also important in indie games, right? Because they like Shovel Knight debuted on the Wii U, and like Shovel Knight did well on the Wii U, despite the install base.
BioShock Infinite, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Yeah, but a lot of people liked Black Flag, but I wouldn't call that a notable entry in the series, honestly.
Saints Row 4, Battlefield 4, Metro Last Light.
Yeah. See, you're naming games, but like I don't feel like those are super beloved.
Tomb Raider.
The new Tomb Raiders aren't bad. Wolf Among Us is a notable one, that's for sure. All the Telltale games
Dead
came out
Rising
during that
3, Beyond Two Souls.
That's just
actual
a meme.
Ellen Page PlayStation game.
That's a meme game at this point. That's not no. Oh man, I have got to mute these guys. My Facebook friends are like freaking blowing things up. Mute. Stop talking about Diablo. I'm trying to podcast.
Dead Space 3. Come on, man.
That you're going
Everyone loves
you of all people are going to put up Dead Space 3.
super action oriented horror game.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I see how you are. Oh,
I haven't
jeez.
played it yet. I have it because I know I have it on PlayStation digitally, and then I also, because I have the EA Play thing with Steam, I
Yeah.
have it on that. I just haven't played any of it yet.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It was a weird time in gaming, and it might just be my personal opinion that the game sucked at that time. But who knows?
Outlast, Call of Duty Ghosts.
I played that on the Wii U, and I enjoyed it on the Wii U.
I didn't play it. Once they started going into the super sci-fi avenues with Call of Duty, that made it fall off for me. Just because I was like,
I'm not gonna
why wouldn't
lie,
I just then get an Xbox and play Halo? Like, why are we doing this?
because Halo fell off, and Halo wasn't near as good
Yeah.
at that time. That's why.
Yeah. And then EA tried to make their own Halo with Anthem, and that failed miserably.
I mean, EA also had a better series that was like Halo called Titanfall that they fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't fuck it up as in like it was a legit good game. They fucked it up by killing it marketing wise. Like, do you remember the debacle of Titanfall 2? Do you remember that release date?
No.
Vaguely, yeah.
So, week 1, newest Call of Duty. Week 2, Titanfall 2. Week 3, Battlefield, whatever the next one is. I think it was Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
So they literally put Titanfall between the two biggest other shooters in the whole fucking gaming industry and expected Titanfall 2 to sell well.
Yeah. Well, they also ditched making a third one in favor of a free-for-all battle royale, whichever one that is. Apex Legends, I think.
Yeah, it's in the Titanfall universe, but it's not Titanfall.
It was originally supposed to be Titanfall 3, but then they scrapped it and turned it into Apex Legends.
I know that. It is not Titanfall, and I will not be playing it until it's Titanfall. I like Titanfall. I don't care about Apex. Like, I'm not into the battle royale stuff. Like, I play Fortnite with the girls occasionally, and that's it. Yeah. So, there was I was going to ask you something, or I guess a little bit more on Diablo 4 for you, AEFLUS. So you said you're just kind of like trying on different weapons and stuff with the druid. I don't know the druid's class mechanic yet. Like, what is the class mechanic that you get unlocked? There's like some sort of mechanic that you unlock through like a quest. Have you done that yet? Everyone has one.
I don't know. I have maybe.
I'm
horrible at like going through like linear stuff. Like I said, I just go like, ooh, like it's shiny and that's it. Like
what I was going to try.
I mean,
I don't know the druid class mechanic because I can't relate it as well, but that everyone has a class mechanic. I just don't know what the druids is. But the difference of like, so like, let's say the sorceress, they get to take their skills that they have and make them into a passive bonus. So they get to do this thing on their little spells and like, hey, I can cast Fireball, but I can also make Meteor a passive bonus that says whenever I cast anything, meteors fall out of the sky or whatever. So that's like the sorceress / sorcerer mechanic. The mechanic for the necromancer is the Book of the Dead, which is I get to pick the skeletons and the golem and that kind of stuff. I get to customize them through the Book of the Dead. What I was going to say is something you need to look out eventually when you start getting legendary powers and stuff is sort of like one of the big things in Diablo is generating your build and sort of picking a theme. So one of the things that I did in my skills is, so my skills are skeleton, Army of the Dead, golem. So all minion skills. And Army of the Dead is my ultimate, my quote unquote, you know, the skill near the end of the skill tree that you actually actively use. And Army of the Dead, just like a bunch of zombies or skeletons come out of the ground and explode on people. Like they run up and they're like kamikaze skeletons and explode. And I have a thing that summons my stuff if they're dead while doing that. And then my last one is corpse tendrils, where I have a bunch of like tentacles that come out of a corpse and pull everything to that corpse so I can dunk on everything, group them up. And then bone skills, which are like bone splinters, and then bone spear. So I have a bunch of legendary properties that aid bone spear and the minions and stuff. Like the legendary property that gives me more skeleton mages, more skeleton warriors. I've got a legendary property that gives me like bone spear. Instead of just being a spear that goes out and comes back, it's now a spear that goes out and comes back and puts an echo of itself along every tick of the path and back. So it's like doing like triple damage and stuff. So I was going to say, when you start, getting more used to the game, you're probably going to want to sort of like fit yourself into an idea and sort of build those legendary things around that idea. And that's probably going to help your power a lot, because mine is mostly focused on minions, but my backup, so like sort of my side strategy, is me as a character is throwing out the bone spears. And I'm basically, there's the thing vulnerability, where like things take like 50% extra damage if they're vulnerable, and they get the purple health thing around their bar. It can happen to you too, because you'll see your health bar get like cracked up. So like a lot of my skills also make things vulnerable, which means my minions do more damage, which means I do more damage. So I kind of focused on minions making things vulnerable so the minions could beat up on them. So like, so just sort of give you an idea of what you can sort of do later on. I don't have context for Druid to be able to help you out and say like, you could do this or you could do this. Like I haven't even looked at the Druid skills. All I know is that there's werewolf skills, there's elemental skills, and there are bear skills. And I might want to be doing a werewolf build with rabies, because I love Diablo 2's rabies build, which was fun as hell. I don't know how it works on Druid, but old Diablo 2, if you had a rabies werewolf, you would bite an enemy and the spread of poison would fill the screen. All the monsters became poisoned and died. Like, it was fun.
The thing I'm doing right now is just the last skill that makes it that every time you do, because there's earth skills and storm skills. So every time you do a storm skill, you have a chance to throw out an earth skill and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
And then I have a skill that makes it that all werewolf and bear skills are element skills now.
Oh.
So if I use a werewolf skill, it can throw out an earth skill at the same time. So you can double skill it.
Okay.
So now even an ultimate. So if I do an ultimate, I can do the storm ultimate and do the earth ultimate at the same time without paying extra cost.
Interesting.
And so what I'm doing is I'm using that as my base. That's my base idea. And I'm using the skill on my weapon that makes werewolf and werebear skills elemental skills. So I use the bear landslide. And no, I got another skill that does trample. And when you do trample, it does landslide, which is like this whole thing that I don't know if you've seen it already. Okay. And then my friend was like, oh, dude, if you get this other skill, you can do it 12 times that attack. So now I do this wave of trample, and I do a landslide 12 times, and it goes back and forth. And there's a chance it also throws lightning down when I'm doing it.
That's cool.
So you see the barrel running, and you see lightning shooting down. And then if anything survives, I just ult it, and it ults and then does petrify at the same time. So that's my idea. But it's a cool idea, but it has very little survivability. So I'm trying to it's very squishy. It's like a glass cannon. If I don't do it right away, I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah, there are
I have to find stuff.
There are certain properties on the champion monsters that if I see them, I have to be extremely careful. Like if anything's fire enchanted, just to sort of fill you in, Ace. So fire enchanted monster shoots out these triangle of fire waves, right? And in certain situations, if I get hit by any one of those pieces, I die. And then if you kill it, it explodes in a giant radius. So then I can't be near it. So then you get in these situations where it's also, what do they call suppressors? So I get a fire enchanted suppressor, right? Which means it has a bubble around it, which no range attacks can get in. You have to get in the bubble. You have to get into the Gungan bubble shield to fight it.
Okay.
And I am ranged. So, like, I have to get up close where I don't want to be and deal with this fire enchanting, exploding shit in the bubble. So now I have less room to move. So, like, there's just certain things that just kill me. Like, one friend was talking to me. He's like, "How do you play without?" Because everyone's trying to run the like some meta skills or builds or whatever. So Blood Mist is the Necromancer escape one. Because if you ever get stunned or locked down, you can use Blood Mist. Basically, you turn into a vampire and you just turn into a cloud of blood and you escape anything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't use it. I don't have room on my build to use that. I've got all the skeleton shit. I can't. I need all the army. So what I end up doing when there's monsters like that is I have this thing on the Iron Golem. It's like, you go smash. So Iron Golem runs up. He becomes unstoppable, which means he can't get hurt. And he runs up, smash, stuns everything, right? I then have to keep hitting it with a bone spear, hope it drops a corpse, because like corpse is one of the resources that drops. And I run up, hope it drops a corpse, and then I do corpse tendrils, which makes it vulnerable and stuns it for a certain amount of time. And then maybe, hopefully, my ice skeleton mages have frozen it, and then I have stun locked the monster till I killed it and it's dead, and I don't have to worry about any of those things. However, if none of those things happen in the right order, I die.
I'm in the same boat. Very Black Panther-like.
Yeah. So I have actually been trying to build more defensively so that I can survive if I get hit by one of those things. And I can get hit once or twice now. But it used to be like, if there were certain affixes, I'm just out. Done. Dead. Like literally, like I've had situations, there's an affix that's also teleporter, and they literally teleport on top of you. And if you're a ranged character, say goodnight, because all of those things just shot off at once. And I was just dead. Like,
oof.
That
sucks.
I will never play this game in hardcore. Fuck that. Like, I have never played hardcore for much time in this game series. So one thing I want to ask you, AEFLUS, are you? I know, obviously, I know you're a huge Monster Hunter fan, but have you had any plans to play the new Zelda, or is that something that's not normally your thing?
Not normally my thing.
Okay.
Funny enough, though, while the new Zelda game came out, I was replaying Majora's Mask. I like the darker one, so like Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess.
Sure.
And those two are the ones that I played the most.
Yeah, I would say those are exactly two dark ones. Yes.
Yeah, so I haven't really touched the other two.
Okay.
They look fun. I might get them for the kids and stuff. That like.
Yeah, just curious because, yeah, I'm not as big of a Zelda fan as Ace is here, but I have been enjoying my time. I will finish Zelda. It is inevitability that I will be finishing it at some point. But I mean, Diablo is a very dark game, so do you kind of like usually like darker games? Didn't you also like Bloodborne? I think I remember you talking about Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. I love Bloodborne. Yeah, so definitely the darker games are the ones I gravitate towards. Also games that I can just pick up and drop really fast. Yeah. So like I also play a lot of Call of Duty. Like I got 5 minutes, I go in a match.
Yeah, I eventually get the itch to kill other people online and will get a Call of Duty game and play it. Haven't had one I played Cold War pretty heavily for about a month and a half, and then that's the last one I played. So I think Vanguard came out after that. And then
did Modern Warfare.
No, I did play Modern Warfare 2 remake or whatever it was. Yeah,
that's the one I've been playing because you don't have that crap of like space stuff. It's just good old on the ground.
No, yeah. I did play Modern Warfare. I remember that. I played with my friend Jacob /Gmo. For people who listen to I almost said Game Grumps. No, Bickering Bucks. That's my other show where me and a bunch of friends play a game as like a book club thing and then talk about it afterwards. He's on that show. He played Call of Duty with me, and we played Modern Warfare 2. I golded so many guns so fast in that one. Like it was, I golded, I think the first 2 guns in every category. Because that's what I like to
Nice.
do. I like to play every gun.
I'm a sniper. I go quick scoping. I just put the smart scope on it and just keep running. Go.
I'm a, people call me a camper, but I'm really not. I'm a slow scoper. I will sit there.
Scoper.
So what I like to call myself is
Find the tunnel.
not just that. I like to patrol like 3 different points. So I'll sit in one spot and I'll shoot 3 or 4 people that I see. Then I'll dive out of the way, go to a different point at a different angle at someone else, shoot a couple times, move away. So like I like to patrol an area as a sniper.
All right.
Um,
I like that.
I also tend to no scope a lot out of panic. Not because I'm good,
Fair enough.
just because someone runs up on me like, oh shit. Oh, whew, okay, we're safe. And then I die because someone else came up on me because I was so flabbergasted that I actually killed him. I'm halfway decent at Call of Duty. I'm actually pretty halfway decent at shooters. So okay, yeah, I was just trying to get a more feel because like obviously most of the stuff we talked about before it was exclusively a Monster Hunter show, so I didn't get to hear about your other gaming stuff at that time. But now we're
I mean, Monster Hunter is the one I love, but I'm definitely Bloodborne. Call of Duty. What other games? The Animal Crossing. I was playing Animal Crossing a lot when it first came out. They got us through the pandemic.
Yeah, dude, I will never forget the Animal Crossing release day because I'm a big Doom fan, and that crossover was gold. I loved all the art for that. That was the first Animal Crossing I actually played. Was that one? New Horizons? Is that? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The first time I picked it up, and I was just like, it looks fun. It just got us through the pandemic. Something new every day.
A girl I was dating at the time played it, and that's why I picked it up. She wanted me to play with her, and I did. And then things fell apart, and then I played with the girls, and then that was it.
Kingdom Hearts. Big Kingdom Hearts fan.
Okay. I was a big Kingdom Hearts for exactly Kingdom Hearts 1, and then I got tired of waiting for all the weird games and the weird story. So then I checked out a long time ago. But yeah, I get Kingdom Hearts was very fun when I played it. How are you on the Final Fantasy VII remakes?
I haven't touched them. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
Which I might change that for the new one because same thing with Diablo. Like I never touched it, so I'm gonna have to try it.
I used to really love 7, and then going back, I don't like it as much anymore. And then the remake, I've objectively, it's a good game. Personally, I was very angry I didn't get to play my character. Because you do not get to play as Nanaki in the first game of the remakes. And or known as Red 13, basically the Red Panther lion thing. It's looking like in the new one they just advertised that you can play as him, so I might be a little more fair on it. But I mean, legit, like I did not enjoy my time because I was like, I finally got to him because I know where he is in the story. I was like, yes, I can't play as him. He's not even in your party. Oh, I hate this game. All this was build up to get to this character for me, and I can't play as him. No. Oh, boy.
I'll pick it up. It looks like a fun game. The one's coming out. But I normally, like, if it's a turn, like, I never played stories, Monster Hunter stories either, because if it's turn-based,
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Like, all right. I can't, like, stay focused for too long because it's like, okay, I gotta wait. Like, okay.
Oh, and you've got a busy job and family like a lot of people, so I get that having to put things down. My job is not as busy at times, depending. Like sometimes I can work like 13-hour days, and sometimes I can work not that much. And the woes of a small family business, but But then on top of that, like because I only have my kids every other week right now in summer, and then every other weekend during the thing, so like I don't have to worry about that, or I'm still single, so like I can just game whenever. So like that has never been a problem for me. I can
See, you can
pour
game with the sound
hours.
on.
Yes.
Like I was telling GT, I every single game I play with no sound because I gotta
Yeah.
have an ear out for my kids because I gotta like if
Yes.
they're fighting or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Like
So he was
if they're here, this is the way it is. Like the one ear is off. Like yeah.
one ear out. I just don't have the sound on it anymore because I was like, fuck, I can't listen to it. So I play with no sound. And I was on the stream and I was like, oh dang, like so that's because I was playing with my character and I was like, I didn't know my character sounded like that. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, dude, I play with no sound, so I don't know. And he's like, dude, what the heck, like you missed so much. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just what it is. Like you can't, like when you have kids, like you can't just
No, you got to be able to pay
shut off
attention.
and
Yeah.
listen. Yeah, you gotta be able to stop the
Yeah.
fight or something.
When before the split up and I had the kids, I would just wait until everyone else was in bed for me to play, to really get into something. Like I might play something handheld once in a while the kids were there, but I had to put it down. Yeah, I get now when the kids are here, I do play on this computer occasionally, or I'll be playing something with them. Like we've been playing Ultimate Chicken Horse on the Switch, which is a fun game. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
I gotta check it out. I'm looking for games for the kids to play together. Normally, just Mario Party or
so it was on sale on the Switch recently for like $5. I was like, okay, I gotta get because I wanted to back the project on Kickstarter a long time ago, and I just never did. Then I found it on sale on the Switch. So what it is, Ultimate Chicken Horse is like a party game, right? Where it's a platformer where you pick. There's a horse to begin with. There's a horse. There's a sheep. There's a chicken, and a raccoon, right? And everyone gets to be a character, and you can unlock new animals and stuff. But it's a platformer. Get from point A to point B. So like the farm level is literally you're on a barn. There's a tractor. There's a spinning turbine that will kill you if you touch it. And then up on top of a silo is the finish line. And when the game starts, there are 4 objects that you get to place. So each one picks an object and they get to place where the object is. Whether it's a hay bale, a piece of wood, or something to help with the platforming, right? So so you're making the level on each round. And the person who gets there first gets more points. The person who gets if everyone gets to the end though, no points. It says too easy. So what then starts happening? They start putting in traps like flamethrowers, crossbows, and that kind of stuff. So you're basically playing, if you're familiar with the basketball game Horse, right? Yeah. I can do this shot. You're basically playing Horse with a platforming game, setting up traps. I can get through this trap thing, but you can't. And that's what the game is. Now, my kids are 6 and 8. So they have not learned to control their rage when they lose yet. So a lot of me is playing referee between the two, or them getting mad at me because I put in a crossbow somewhere I shouldn't have done, because daddy's a meanie face if he puts in a crossbow that points towards the exit. So so like I ended up playing referee, and I have to teach them to be more sportsmanlike when I'm doing it. But it is a very fun party game, in my opinion. And if you're you know what? I was going to suggest a game. I cannot remember its name. I don't remember its name at all. That's going to be a problem. Anyways, the concept of the game is you have 4 people, and you're all trying to get to the end and beat this boss, but it's a very dark game, a lot of blood. I don't know if you're going to like that for your kids or not, but it's
probably not.
It's a good party game with adults if that's the case. You basically are spirits, and you control monsters, and you get to level up the monsters and stuff, and you get to kill the one guy who's a human. Whoever kills them becomes the human, and it's like a dungeon crawler with one human versus the other 3 players, and the other 3 players are trying to kill the human, become the human, and whoever gets to the end of the level as the human wins that round. So it's a lot of fun. I just don't
Sounds like
remember.
a good one. Yeah.
I don't remember its name. But the funnest part is the end. There's like bosses that are like, here's a three-headed dragon. Like here's a three-headed dragon. And each player's a dragon, and they're trying to shoot you, and the human player's trying to kill the dragon. One of them is like an Incan temple that has like all these hands that pop up out of the ground. So, like the one player's playing like the bongo hands that hit the ground. Another one is possessing like the stabby hands and stuff. It was pretty good. I just don't remember the name of it. I can't.
Send it to me later.
It's gonna bug me. I have to Google it. I really love it though. It's been a long time since I played. I can't. My brother hates it, and before I got the house, I used to live with my family, and I would want to try to get him to play with me, and he was like, "No, I hate it. Stop." I did like, so I never got to play it.
Come on, just pick it up. That's funny. My brother was telling me to get into what's the game? Anthem? I think it's Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a shooter.
Oh,
The EA one
the EA
that was
one.
supposed to be Halo.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't get into it. I was like, it's fun, but not for me. Okay. Other than that, we play Call of Duty together. We'll do that together. But there's very little games that we like at the same time. He's 18 now, yeah. So he likes Fortnite, all those like games that are like famous right now, like all the kids like, and I'm like very old school. Like,
right. I can't even find it on like Switch party games. Like I'm just. Broforce is fun. Have you ever seen Broforce? That's a platformer.
No.
Also not kid friendly because a lot of cussing and stuff. But you basically play as. It's literally like playing Captain America. What? Not Captain America. What is the South Park guys made that movie?
Team America.
Team America. It's playing Team America, but everyone's a buff person, and they're all movie characters, and they're all called Bro. So, but except there's like a buff Ripley from Aliens.
Oh, nice.
And as Ripley Bro is her name. You get Raiden Bro. You get like everyone's just called Bro. Ram Bro. You get the God Bro. Godfather Bro.
This sounds like someone I went to school with in middle school created a video game, because I remember there was a running joke of my friends and I. We just came up with 1,000,001 different like bro names, like Han Brolo, Brodo Swaggins, Broby-Wan Kenobi, Bro Buffett.
Yes. Very much like that. Very much that energy, but like everyone is super buff, like extremely buff, and you're just trying to get to the end. There's a lot of blood, but it starts off with like killing. It's like a lot about killing terrorists and stuff too at first, and it's just like super Team America police. I am gonna figure this out though. I hate.
But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Tears of the Kingdom. As Fortwan mentioned too, Game Grumps have started playing it, and it's always interesting seeing how
very good
other
series.
people play the game, because like I'm very much a collect everything person, and like Aaron will just has just killed an enemy and walked away from like the parts and stuff, and I'm like, you might need those like for armor enhancement and stuff like that. And I think I initially gave him credit for it, but because he mentioned stuff about like the people like crucifying the Koroks and whatnot, and creating 1,000,001 dick things with the kinesis and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's all
he
over
may have
Twitter
he may have seen it, but like he picked up with the first flux construct that you can grab their box parts and dismantle them, or just grab the main piece and that'll completely
Yeah, I never knew that till I
disintegrate it
watched it. Like I was like,
or separate it.
that is insane. I didn't know
Yeah,
you could do that.
yeah. So he did that right away with the first one, and I remember not doing that because
Yeah,
I didn't I didn't put that together that you could do that, because that wasn't a thing you could do with enemies until
this
recently,
one.
at least with that
Yeah.
one specifically. Uh, but yeah, it's interesting seeing how other people play the game.
Yes.
Uh, I've also found all the fairy fountains, and I upgraded my flight suit, so now I am impervious to fall damage.
I have found. I have got 0 fairy fountains still.
What?
I just.
So
I never did it. Just never did it.
I will let you know when you do find them.
I know where
You will
2
need
are.
to, yeah, you have to do a quest for each of them,
Mm-hmm.
because there's at the horse stable, there's like a musical band, or at one of them specifically, it starts off. There's a musical troupe performing, so you
Yeah.
have to get the band back together for each one, and then the fairies will come out. For the horse shrine, or the horse god, you just have to give it one Endura carrot, and then it'll pop out.
Right.
So that one's a little bit easier. But the other ones, you specifically have to get the specific musician back to the band, and then you have to transport them to the fountain. So
Oh,
it's a little bit more tedious.
the whole band of people.
Yeah, because there are
Oh.
wagons. So you have to find a way to get the wagon to the fountain, and you can't just walk them with the kinesis stuff because it'll shake too much and they get nervous about that.
Huh.
So
No, I hate
be
that.
forewarned.
Makes me not want to do
What?
it. So I found the
What's
game. I
the
was.
timeline of
Okay.
this game?
Huh?
Of Tears of the Kingdom. What's the timeline of Tears of the Kingdom?
It's the most far in the future, right?
Yeah, it's after the events of the first game, but it's like a little bit different because there aren't specific references to the champions,
Mm-hmm.
but there are still a lot of the original characters, like Riju's in it, Sidon is in it. Sidon actually has a fiance and then eventually wife, which ruined a bunch of
Fan people.
fan fictions for people.
Suddenly Sidon. Yeah. Yeah.
Yonobu, I think the Goron guy becomes lucha libre,
Yes.
sort of
Yes, he does.
a mind controlled lucha libre.
Yes, he does.
Uh, the Rito village gets sort of frozen over by the easiest boss in the game.
Now, overall in Zelda, these are the furthest in the future, by far.
Mhm.
And it's by ages, like way, like we're talking far future Zelda, in comparison. Like, I think Breath of the Wild, we don't know exactly how far in the future from the latest Zelda it takes place, but it's so far back that the ancient legends don't even go back
Yeah.
that far. Like of it's so far in the future that like there's almost no memory of any other events of Zelda.
Yeah,
Because
but they don't know about the hero time or anything. They don't. There's nothing
right,
about
and
that.
I don't even know which, because you know there's multiple timelines too, right? So
Yeah.
I don't even know which
Yeah.
one it's on, and I haven't seen
Yeah,
anything.
in this one, the Zonai sort of replaced the monks and whatnot with the temples and the guardians. And I would say it's sort of similar in some ways to like the Alien franchise, and then Prometheus,
Yes,
with there being the what do they call them? The obviously not the xenomorphs, the people before that created humanity by
Raru's
putting their DNA.
Raru's people, but I don't remember.
No, they're the Zonai. I'm talking about the
Oh, sorry.
Alien franchise. What are they called? They're the not people that created humanity.
Dude, I
Because
don't.
the
I
one
Big
guy
Buddha.
drank the black goo and disintegrated himself into the water. Sort of like that. How they're like
okay.
a
Okay.
precursor race and they were sort of like gods. And then Raru married a Hylian,
Hylian.
however you
Hi. I like
choose
to
to
say hi.
pronounce it.
I like to say Hylian because we say Hyrule, not Hyrule. But whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So I found
very
that party
interesting.
game. It's called
Uh,
Crawl. Just
Oh,
called
what?
Crawl, like you're crawling on the
Crawl.
ground. Just crawl like a dungeon crawl. So there you go. Not kid friendly, but the one kid friendly one, Ultimate Chicken Horse.
yeah,
Now,
Ultimate
now your
Chicken
mind is
Horse.
at peace.
I
Or
watched that so much throughout college with Gassy Mexican because he and his friends would play that and they'd always have
uh,
the most ridiculous things happen.
it was on sale this week for $5. So me and the girls picked it up. When you went away,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking to AEFLUS about. Another one to involve your kids in that is kid friendly is Moving Out on the Switch. Have you ever played that?
No.
So you're a moving company or a furniture arrangement relocation technician or a fart.
Yeah.
Um, and you get to customize your character and whatnot. It's really fun. But you have a moving truck and you're basically getting people's stuff and moving it to a truck. And it's like floaty gameplay stuff and it's got a sense of humor and whatnot. But you can chuck things. So there's a mechanic to throw things. And if you have a couch that you have to move, you have to work together to swing the couch and stuff. And like it's really fun. And it's got challenges and stuff too. Where you can't break windows or you break all the windows or it's like I would prefer because like my completionist brain really wants to get all the challenges done, but my youngest daughter Emery is a agent of chaos and wants to do nothing but throw things or
Yeah.
fixate on a single beach ball that she wants to throw around the map while the other daughter and I, who is also a completionist, are trying to complete the map, but my other daughter's actively working against us. So like it's a little chaotic for me, but maybe you're a little more coordinated in your household that you can
Oh,
do
no.
that. I mean, but it's a fun party game because it's
Yeah.
because just getting the level done is fun enough. I would say. Yeah, moving out. Ultimate Chicken Horse is the new one. Yeah. Stick Fight. You ever seen that one?
No.
That one's kid friendly. It's got guns and stuff, but it's stick people. Uh, stick
Okay.
Stick Fight is literally just kill each other. Just like you're thrown on a map, you grab a gun.
Kill each other / King of the Hill because
Yeah.
some of the maps are like falling down around you. So it's
Yes.
just at times it's like see who can survive the longest
Right.
while also trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
After Tears of the Kingdom, I'll probably be trying to play Homebody, the new game
Yeah.
that Game Grumps associate. I think he's like an editor, I believe. Jory, he was developing a puzzle horror game for a long time, and it just recently came out, and it was on sale, so I picked it up for Switch. So I'll be playing that soon, and then eventually I want to get We Love Katamari for one of the consoles I have,
I
because
think
Katamari is always a favorite of mine.
yeah, Katamari's fun. I will probably be picking up Final Fantasy 16, trying that out because I've played Final Fantasy here and there. I will probably be getting Pikmin for Mortal Kombat 1, and I think that's it for the year. Like, I can't remember anything else. Oh, Exo Primal, the other Capcom game that's coming out, the Horde dinosaur
Oh,
shooter.
The
Yeah.
dinosaur one? I'm gonna get that one too. My son saw the trailer for it and he was like, I want that one.
Yeah. I saw. I didn't watch all the Capcom showcase, but I kind of fast forwarded through it just to see if there was anything I cared about. And I am already sold on Exo Primal, so I didn't need to see more on it. But I did stop on some weird, crazy boss fight with the Tyrannosaurus that they were like hiding behind cover and then having to like straight up like WoW mechanic boss fight level. I was like, oh, okay, sure, that looks. I won't be able to play with anyone, so I'll have to play with people online because no one that I normally play games with is going to play this. But yeah, so yeah, it's kind. But like I said, I know Diablo 4 is going to be a mainstay for me for a long time. Like right now, I'm in the honeymoon period where I have just finished everything. I finished the story. I've just completed everything exploration wise, and I'm starting to grind dungeons. I might fall off a little bit, but every season I'm going to be back in and playing. Like, because I did this with Diablo 3 I played it, gosh, 4 years of constantly like every season coming back and playing it till I was done with the season. And like,
Is anything in the shop worth getting? Like, just aesthetics? Or
it's
like,
all cosmetics. There's nothing that's going to be not cosmetic. I have some of the cosmetics because since I moved out, my brother and my dad found something I left in my room that was a $50 gift card from Blizzard that I forgot about. So I bought some of the cosmetics and they're okay. Like I'm using some of them now, but like honestly, the helmet that I'm using cosmetically is literally not even a legendary one. It's literally like a yellow one that can drop. I might have to I might have to put like my character look, a couple character looks that I use on I'll put it up on Twitter and post to you if I can, if I remember. So you can see just like, yeah, I don't even use the cosmetics all the time. Like the cosmetics that drop in the game are just as good, or in my opinion, better than the shop ones anyways. So like, and I also like seeing what my character would actually look like. So sometimes I'll take off all the cosmetics and just like, what do I look like as is? And for the Necromancer, it can look pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a long time just looking at the helmets that you can, because once you like break them down or whatever, then you get the little things that you can reuse them.
Yeah.
Cosmetically, I thought it was, freaking cool. So a lot of my time is just goes into like, oh, like what does it look like if I wear all this? Like it looks really cool.
Yeah, and all the classes have their own aesthetics, even for the same items. Like you can have a generic item that'll drop, and it'll look way different for a druid, for a necromancer, for a barbarian. And even different for male to female too. So you can, because like all the females, they generally have like chest area accounted for, and the males they'll have pec area accounted for because everyone's super fit in Diablo, like everyone.
Yeah. Well, except druids. Druids are like so husky and like.
Oh, that's a different kind of fit. That's the lumber
bodybuilder.
That's the lumberjack fit versus the bodybuilder that the barbarian is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of fit I would be if I was fit.
I was looking at that. I was like, it's very. I can shoot for that. I can shoot for the druid build.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I'm probably gonna be focused on that game for quite a while, honestly, and not maybe playing some other things in between if I get bored. But I'm still actively finding things to do, and of course, I'm still gonna be pecking away at Tears of the Kingdom because it's on the Switch and has that opportunity to play it in other situations I don't.
Yeah.
But unless there's a new Doom game coming out or a new Monster Hunter game, nothing's going to tear me away for a long time from Diablo. So,
you satiate it.
Yeah. I think we've had a pretty thorough discussion here. It's getting kind of late there, I can see. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about AEFLUS before we go, or?
No, I mean,
just good to catch up.
Cover a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, we talked like way before for a long time too. So
Yes. Yeah.
it was good.
Ace, anything else on your mind tonight, or?
I mean, I think I brought it up last episode of the episode before, but I again want to shout out Matt Mercer for his voice work as Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's very
His
good. Yeah.
performance is pretty great.
Yeah. It's the most unhinged Ganon, I will say.
Yeah,
Really.
Yeah, it
the most
is.
deceitful and unhinged. Did you at
His
all see the Twitter posting of his maniacal smile
yes, yes, and I noticed it
of
in
him
game
just
too. Like it is Joker level smile. Like it is way crazy. Um, yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. He finally has the means to achieve his evil goal, so why not gleefully and insanely smile
right,
in
Yeah.
that scenario?
right. Oh man,
I just saw the sexy memes that they were posting about him. That was
Oh yeah,
for a
a lot of
while.
people are thirsting after him too. That's also funny to see.
yeah. There's been some. Specifically by Aaron from the Game Grumps, there's also been some Lilith thirsting too from Diablo.
Wow, okay. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. I think literally the title is Aaron totally in love with Lilith or something like that. Like it's
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing that now that you mentioned that.
yeah, like it's like, oh no, Aaron, please no. She's literally a demon. Although Inarius made the same mistake. That's a lore thing. But okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, AEFLUS. It was great to talk to you again. I
Thank you
hope
for
it's
having me.
not as long as next time, but I'll try to give you a lot more of a heads up when we have a opening or something. So for my reference, is there like Monster Hunter coming out? Like, what kind of situation would you be like, hey, I got to get back on here to talk about this? Is there something like that for you, or no? Just anytime.
Anytime, buddy.
Okay.
Anytime, as long as I have enough leeway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I get situations where it's like, hey, I can't make it tonight because something came up. That's happened a couple times. So I'm like, crap, I got to find something now. And that's usually when I think to invite. But I'll try to be a little more thinking ahead. But we had plenty of time with Sasha's birthday, so
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
okay, cool.
Well, I don't get to talk with adults a lot, so
Fair.
Oh, fair enough.
I just spent a whole week with the kids, so yeah, it was just me and the kids. Like I did some work stuff, and I saw mom and dad, but mom and dad are not as the same level of adults my age that I can talk about things.
yeah.
Like.
Yeah, like I can go to my parents and talk about games, and they'll be like, "Okay, that's all right." Even when I talk about my job, they're like, "Oh, that's nice, honey. That's good.
Yeah.
Good job." I was like, "Thanks, mom."
You did the thing. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Good job.
Well, my dad is my boss, so I can't really talk about work too much with him. So, well, actually, it's funny because there's only 3 of us in the company, and both of them, my brother and my dad, are above me in the hierarchy. So, I am the low man on the totem pole. So, like, I do not normally talk about work stuff with them because, yeah, it's just not that I get in trouble, but it's just like, yeah, we've been talking about this all day. I don't need to talk more about it.
Exactly. They're like, "Okay, something else."
Right.
I will also say, as a PSA, be careful out there if you're selling things online or specifically on Facebook Marketplace, people. Yesterday, someone tried to scam me
Oh wow.
because I have some of my Funko Pops listed because I'm looking
Yeah.
to just trim down my collection, and someone sent me an offer for the price that I had on one, and I was like, "Yep, I'll accept that." And then they were reaching out to me saying how their husband would reach out to them or reach out to me, and they asked for my number, and then they said they were going to send me a code. And I was like,
Nope.
okay, I'll entertain this. Maybe you're gonna send me like one that you just randomly made up on the spot. And it came back to my text message, and it was a Google support thing.
Yep.
And they were like, "Did you get it?" And I was like,
Nope.
"Yeah, I got it. Why is it a Google thing though?"
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Just send me this. Send me the code so I can confirm you're a real person." Blah blah blah. And I was like,
Nah.
"No, that's kind of a red flag for me." They're like,
Yeah,
"Just send me the
as
code. I'm a real person." Blah blah blah. And I was like,
it should be.
"Block report."
Yep.
And I had also before that gone and looked at their profile, and there was nothing. Like it was completely blank. And I was like,
Yep.
I was looking forward to getting some cash money, but okay.
As someone who has been in the online dating world for 5 years now, yep, that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get at some account of yours. Yeah, I have experience, and my mom was actually
Mhm.
facing this because she also was trying to sell some things. She knitted a lot of dish towels for sale,
Uh,
and she's trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace because she's a teacher, so during the summer she finds things to do, and that's one of the things. And she was actually just talking about that last time I was there. Did you know there's so many scammers on Facebook Marketplace? And my brother and I, who are on various dating sites, are like, yeah, that's a thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on again. If you guys want to follow the show, it's at Hunters Hub Pod on Twitter. Be sure to join the Discord as well. AEFLUS is on the Discord. Don't talk on there too much, but I'm sure you have all sorts of Discords you're on. So, no harm, no foul. But you know,
I have you in my special top 7, so you guys are right there.
awesome.
I see you guys. I just don't get the time to talk in there or like anywhere.
Yeah, we don't talk too much in the general too much anymore. It's mostly Mossy actually lately, but it's been fun because he had a he had a Universal Orlando trip that he was sharing. That was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, so be sure to join the Discord. It's how you get a hold of Sasha, and if you want to, and Ace as well. But Ace also has his Twitter at Ace Badger Gaming. You can follow his stuff and see more entertaining stuff. I haven't been tweeting a lot the past couple months. Like the house stuff has been taking up most of my life, then the kids and yada yada. So buying a house is difficult, and then keeping a house going is difficult. So I just want a game. I don't feel like tweeting all the time. So
I felt that. I felt that right here.
yeah. So
Well, gaming is easy. It's doing the things that actually matter that's can be difficult at times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate mowing. I still hate mowing. I have an electric mower, and this is the first time, like when I mowed Thursday was the first time since I've moved in here that it didn't just kick off by itself from the grass being too thick. Like,
Dang.
I just, finally, I'm to a point where I can just mow. And I still haven't weed whacked since I've been here. So there's things that just don't look good. And I don't have the energy after mowing to do it. So.
You just need to you save up some extra money, get a riding lawnmower, elevate yourself to that full dad level.
Problem is, it would be a severe waste of money for the amount of space that I have to mow. Like, it would be ridiculous. Like,
No, you gotta go full Hank Hill level. Cause like he's only got that little patch of grass. He still takes so much pride in it.
yeah, that's true. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching and listening. Next week is my topic, which I still haven't decided when Sasha is back. So I've been kicking around ideas, but I haven't really landed on anything yet. So I can't tell you as the audience what it is yet because I don't know. I've been too much into Diablo. I was actually thinking of like awesome quotes from video games because of the Diablo ones, but then I've already said these quotes twice, so why would I do it? Like, it's just a dumb topic for me personally. I mean, it would be cool to get some other quotes, but like, all I'd want to say is like, look at this cutscene from Diablo, or look at this thing from Diablo. I know that's where my brain's gonna be. So like, not a good topic for me right now. A little too close to home. But for sure, I'm gonna send you a couple things, AEFLUS, to get you caught up on some lore. And
All right, perfect. I would love that.
yeah, I will say, literally, my favorite cutscene in video games, period, is one of the cutscenes in Diablo 3, the end of Act 1, which is basically the fall of an angel, of how he becomes immortal and sheds his wings. So cool. Not for the usual Final Fantasy, like, emotional, like, I'm a fallen angel kind of thing. Like, no, legit, it is like, it brings a tear to my eye, like, of how noble and honorable of an act he is trying to make in the face of adversity. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, so thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
That boy ain't right.
I still need to watch that show so much.